First up we have a LATAM Airlines plane having a tail strike at Milan Airport. A LATAM Airlines Boeing 777-300ER encountered a severe tail strike at Milan Malpensa Airport. The flight bound to Sao Paulo carrying 171 passengers and 6 crew appeared to rotate early and scrape its tail along the runway for almost 10 seconds. The aircraft obviously suffered significant damage. The Milan ATC then alerted the pilots of the LATAM plane and told them what had happened. The crew then decided to discontinue the flight. So they decided to hold around Milan for 1 hour. And at 6,000 feet they dumped fuel so they could land back safely. No injuries or casualties were reported and the plane is still in Milan undergoing maintenance. I think that there are many reasons for this incident, such as miscalculation by the pilots, weight shift, or just too high of a pitch. At least if landed safely and there were no injuries or casualties, this is clearly quite a serious situation, as I'm sure the passengers at the back of the plane would have certainly been scared because of how long the tail would have been dragging for. Next up, a passenger on an Air China flight accidentally deploys the emergency slide. Air China flight CA-75 from Kuzhou to Chengdu had been delayed a bit after ATC delays and was waiting to depart when an unidentified female got out of her seat and made her way to the door of the plane and opened it. This triggered the emergency exit slide to open. It deployed at around 8:45 p.m. local time last Thursday. It was allegedly the passenger's first flight. The plane ended up being evacuated and consequently cancelled after the woman's actions. It was later found out that she thought that it led to the plane bathroom and not an emergency. It is safe to say she might be receiving a hefty fine. I think that this is something that is kind of funny and serious at the same time. If you look at it from an outside perspective, it is funny, but equally if your flight was cancelled because someone accidentally pulled the emergency slide, you would be annoyed. So, when you fly, make sure you know where the bathroom is. Next, Boeing have received 777-9 certification from the FAA. On Saturday, Boeing confirmed that it had received type certification from the FAA on their new 777 and 9 aircraft. The plane took off from Seattle Boeing Field and circled around the Seattle and Portland coastal area for around 2 hours. The plane took off from Boeing Field in Seattle at 18:16 and landed back at 20:08 local time. The Boeing 777 program has already been delayed by a few years, so to get this certification is a great step forward for everyone at Boeing. This is great news for Boeing in my eyes, as they already have quite a lot of delays for their 777 products, so to get this certification for their 777 and 9 product is a huge milestone for them. This will also pave the way for the new 777 aircraft further on in the future. United Airlines flight loses a wheel when taking off from Los Angeles. A United Airlines flight from Los Angeles lost a wheel when taking off. The 757 took off at 7:15 a.m. carrying 147 passengers and 7 crew when it lifted off and a wheel flew off the aircraft. The plane managed to continue its flight to Denver and land safely. There were no injuries or casualties reported. This incident is following a string of incidents with United Airlines over this year, and almost an exactly same one in March where a United 777 lost a wheel when taking off from San Francisco. Personally, I think that United need to have an investigation into all of these incidents that is occurring around them. I also think that Boeing have a role to play in these incidents, so I think they need to work together to see what's going wrong. Finally, a British Airways cabin crew member showed the passengers the England penalty shootout while delayed. The British Airways cabin crew member saved the day when the flight to Heathrow from Heraklion was delayed, and the flight attendant got out her mobile phone to show the final stages of the England-Switzerland game on penalties to the England passengers on the plane. The passengers on the British Airways plane were grateful for this kind gesture. The passengers celebrated on the plane where England ended up winning the game on penalties. The game was England versus Switzerland in the semi-final of Euro 2024. This was a great act, as the passengers were hoping to land in time to see the game, but if the plane was delayed they wouldn't be able to see what had happened. I think that this was a great, quick-thinking move by the cabin crew member, as they made up for the delay by showing the game on her phone to the passengers while boarding. This is great customer service by British Airways, as it puts the passengers ahead of themselves.